Breaking news: Chicago is in turmoil after another painful loss, and now the spotlight is burning brighter than ever on head coach Ben Johnson. What he said at the podium this week has fans and players buzzing, because he didn't just express frustration, he promised changes. Real changes. And those changes could shake up the Chicago Bears lineup in a way nobody saw coming. Stay with me, because this story is just beginning. But before we dive into the latest news, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss breaking updates on your team. Let's move on to today's headline. Coach Ben Johnson didn't mince words after that rough outing against the Lions. He called out the lack of energy, the absence of leadership, and the poor execution from players who were supposed to set the tone. Johnson made it clear, training camp won't be a comfort zone anymore. He hinted that several starters may find themselves fighting for their jobs. In his own words, "We're going to have more competition. We need to see how these guys perform when the ball isn't in their hands. That's a big deal for us." This wasn't just about X's and O's, it was about effort. Johnson noted the silence on the sidelines, the missing fire after big plays, and the body language of a team that looks beaten before the final whistle. Whether it's Caleb Williams pumping his fist after a first down or Rome raising his arm after a clutch catch, Johnson wants to see passion return to this roster. And the message is clear: if the current starters can't deliver it, someone else will. And here's the bigger issue: when you look at that Bears sideline, it feels lifeless. No excitement. No urgency. No one looks like they even want to be out there. And that's shocking, because we're talking about the Chicago Bears, one of the most loyal fan bases in the entire NFL, a city that will ride with its team through heartbreak and hope. With a new head coach and a young, promising roster, there should be fire. There should be teammates lifting each other up, feeding off momentum, and showing pride in every snap. Think back to that game against Minnesota. The Bears had control early on, and the energy was electric. The defense was flying around, the offense was celebrating every yard, and it felt like a team that believed in itself. But the moment things tightened, that spark disappeared. The sideline folded in on itself, and the difference was obvious. Caleb Williams sat quietly, looking defeated, while on the other side, J.J. McCarthy, a rookie, in his first NFL game, was rallying teammates like a veteran. He was clapping, shouting, keeping spirits alive. That's leadership. And that's exactly what Ben Johnson is demanding now. He doesn't want quiet. He doesn't want players waiting for someone else to take charge. He wants leaders on that field who pump up the locker room, smack the shoulder pads, and remind everyone that urgency matters. That's why he's openly challenging the starters. Who's safe? Who isn't? Some of these jobs are already on the line just 2 games into the season. That might sound harsh, but it's refreshing. Johnson isn't waiting until the season's lost to hold people accountable. He's sending a message early: if you don't perform, you're out. It's the kind of tough love approach that echoes legends of the past. Even Mike Ditka didn't hesitate to yank a player after one mistake, and look at the standard he set. Maybe the players don't love it now, but one day they'll appreciate having a head coach who brings grit, toughness, and urgency back to Chicago. Now let's talk about who's really on the hot seat after these first 2 games. And make no mistake, some names are impossible to ignore. At the top of that list? Left tackle Braxton Jones. His performance has been flat-out unacceptable, especially in that matchup against the Lions. 7 pressures. 1 sack. A PFF grade buried at 46.9. To put that into perspective, he was responsible for nearly 78% of the Bears' total pressures allowed in that game. That's not just bad, that's alarming. And it doesn't stop there. Kevin Byard at safety has been a disappointment too. For a veteran presence in the secondary, his numbers simply don't hold up, and the missed opportunities are glaring. Then there's Tyrique Stevenson, who, by advanced metrics, has been one of the lowest graded defensive backs in the league so far. That's not just a slump, that's a problem. Even DJ Moore has found his name in this conversation. His stats might look serviceable on paper, but football isn't just about box scores. It's about attitude, energy, and leadership. Right now, the body language isn't there, and it shows. And let's not forget the tight end group, which has been almost invisible when this team desperately needs an outlet for its young quarterback. But circling back to Braxton Jones, this is where the frustration boils over. At this stage in his career, there are no more excuses. You can't hide behind being a fifth-round value pick forever. That narrative is old. Once you're on the field as a starter in year 4, the expectation is simple: you perform like a pro, regardless of draft status. Jones earned the job, now he has to play like he deserves it. Otherwise, the Bears made a mistake not drafting a replacement when they had the chance. Let's be honest, the good value excuse is done. Braxton Jones isn't a bargain, he's not a hidden gem, and he's certainly not playing like a reliable left tackle. The film shows it, the stats prove it, and the eye test seals it. Too often he's being bullied, bull-rushed, and exposed in key moments. That's exactly why Kmet was thrown into the mix late in the Lions game. The coaches wanted to see if someone else could steady the blind side. Jones is officially on thin ice. Now, let's shift to another name that stings even more: Kevin Byard. Last year's captain, a respected veteran, and someone this locker room should be leaning on, but right now, he's not delivering. Not on the field, and not on the sideline. 2 games in, he's posted 11 tackles, yes, but his PFF grades are abysmal: a 28.9 overall and a 29.1 in coverage, ranking near the bottom of all safeties. Beyond the numbers, it's the absence of leadership that hurts the most. We didn't see him rallying the defense, talking to younger teammates, or showing the fire you expect from a 2-time All-Pro. If H has caught up with him, then his voice has to be louder than ever, because right now, this defense looks lost. And then there's Tyrique Stevenson. This one is tough because the talent is there, but the confidence is gone. Opposing quarterbacks are posting a perfect 158.3 passer rating when targeting him, literally the worst mark in the league. 10 tackles, 1 pass deflection, and not much else. Even after his one positive play against Detroit, he gave a half-hearted high five before sinking back into silence. This is a player who's usually full of energy, hyping up teammates, celebrating, showing swagger. But now, it feels like that fire's been extinguished. Tyrique Stevenson is a player fans want to believe in, and the flashes are there, but what's missing is consistency and energy. This defense needs him to step up, not just with coverage, but with presence. Bears fans don't want a sideline version of Tyrique who disappears after one mistake. They want the fiery, confident player who can pump life into a struggling secondary. Forget the Commanders game. Forget the lapses. The way to erase those memories is simple: dominate on the field and remind everyone why you belong in that lineup. Now, let's talk about DJ Moore. Statistically, he's doing his job. 2 games, 11 targets, 8 catches, over 100 yards, and an impressive 14.5 yards per reception. On paper, he looks like the reliable WR1 this offense needs. But the real concern isn't his numbers, it's his demeanor. The captain patch isn't on his chest this year, and maybe that says something. You don't see him celebrating with teammates, lifting up younger players, or showing the fire that makes him contagious in the locker room. And here's the truth: DJ Moore's energy is powerful. When he's locked in and animated, the whole team feeds off it. That's what this roster is missing. Imagine him sprinting over to Romoduns after a clutch catch or hyping up Caleb Williams after a big throw. That's the version of DJ Moore that can change the entire attitude of this offense. He's got the talent, he's got the contract, and now it's about bringing that spark back on every snap. Ben Johnson didn't stop at calling out effort, he doubled down on attitude. After reviewing the film, he made it clear there were plays that simply didn't meet the standard. His message to the team this week was direct: practice hard, stay engaged, and prove you want to be part of the game plan. For Johnson, it's not just about talent, it's about players pushing themselves to be sharper, stronger, and more confident in every rep. One position group he singled out was the tight end room. Johnson admitted he didn't expect them to feature heavily in Week 1, but he was disappointed they didn't bounce back against Detroit. He pointed to Kmet and Colston Loveland as players who need to be bigger factors, while rookie Luther Burden is slowly earning trust and could see more packages going forward. The message was unmistakable: this offense needs its tight ends more involved. And it's not just about targets, it's about identity. When a team has young weapons, you can't let them sit in the shadows. The Bears need fresh energy, new playmakers, and a willingness to shake things up if they're going to get this season back on track. Johnson is pushing for those changes now, and the clock is already ticking. Now let's close on a positive note, because not everything coming out of Hallis Hall is doom and gloom. Ben Johnson made it clear he saw real progress from Caleb Williams in Week 2. It wasn't flawless, but it was a step forward. Johnson praised his young quarterback for trusting his footwork, moving through reads more effectively, and even getting all the way to his third or fourth option on certain plays. That's the kind of growth you want to see early in a career. Yes, there are still mistakes. At times Caleb held onto the ball too long or let his eyes drift away from where they needed to be. But compared to week 1, the difference was noticeable. Johnson said it himself, the improvement was significant. And if Williams can continue stacking those gains week after week, the Bears might finally have the quarterback they've been waiting for. So while veterans are being challenged, and competition is heating up across the roster, there's one undeniable truth: the Bears' future still depends on the development of Caleb Williams. And right now, the arrow is pointing up. Johnson is demanding toughness, urgency, and leadership from everyone on this team, but when your rookie quarterback is already showing growth, that's a reason for fans to keep believing. Bear down.